back with Bobby and JJ Radio. We just spoke with Lorenzo Gomez. If you missed that, it was a great interview. He talked about geekdom. If you missed it, don't cry. You go to bobbyandjjradio.com. You can stream it live on our SoundCloud, or you can download it, or you can go and look at the YouTube and see how good looking he is.
Facebook, MySpace.
MySpace. That's crazy.
I still have friends on that.
Wow. That's
Friendster.
Tom's still my friend.
He's the only guy that hasn't cut you off. The next two guests that we have are Omar Gonzales and Drew Hicks. They're part of the Downtown Hemisfair Project. I can give you a little background on Drew. He's a native of San Antonio, which is very rare. He joined the project in February as a consultant. He was also at Rackspace as an executive communications manager, and he's been a few months here full time in Hemisfair Park. The most impressive thing is that he actually was a beatbox for a live MC battle.
And he's good.
And he's not that bad. Omar is
for a white guy.
The story of my life.
Yeah, not that.
I wouldn't go against you.
Yeah, for sure. Omar is a native of San Antonio. He's been in the Hemisfair Project for 3.5 years. He's a director of planning, operations, and development.
And he somehow looks 15 years younger than he really is.
Yeah. He got you beat, dude.
Lotion at night.
It's moisturizer.
Yeah.
And he's made a half-court shot and won $5,000 at one point.
True story.
But you won't play basketball with us on Sunday.
It's the ankles, man.
I wanted to see footage of it. This was in the 90s, so there was no camera phones at the time. So there's really no proof he could have made it up. I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this Hemisphere Project, because everyone has. In fact, I got in an argument on last week. I went to the UTSA game. Mm-hmm. I got in an argument with this girl because she was telling me that.
You're arguing with women?
Well, I was telling her that I met you guys and you guys were talking about all this stuff, and they were like, "Oh, they're just making Henry B is going to be the same size. There's no reason for it." And she was kind of just going after me. I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure that you can go to this website and check out the different things that are going on." But let's talk about what's going on down there, Omar.
So the most exciting part is the best reason for the expansion of the convention center is not for the tourists, but it's for the locals.
Right.
So once they expand the convention center to the east, and you've probably seen Market Street under reconstruction, that whole area, it's actually up. You can see part of the convention center now being under construction.
Right.
Then they will demo the old western side, which
Right.
is essentially at the corner of South Alamo and Market Street.
Right.
So one of the heaviest pedestrian corners in all of San Antonio.
Sure.
And that's where we're going to have the opening to what we're right now calling the Civic Park.
Civic Park.
So it's a beautiful open space. We actually just got out of a design meeting earlier today, and it's incredible. Everything from shallow pools that you can put your feet in and cool out in, to areas where you can have a stage. We imagine live performances, a lot of really cool activated restaurants and activities. So you could go there for yoga in the morning. You can have your coffee there. You could literally spend all day at Hemisphere.
That's awesome. Let's talk about a little bit about the history of Hemisfair Park.
So if you are not from San Antonio and you were not born before 1968,
Right.
you may not know that it was the site of a World's Fair. So this was back when kind of World's Fairs were the thing to do, which they apparently aren't anymore. So
What?
Yeah. Have you been to a World's Fair ever?
We go every year.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So in 1964, they started the Urban Renewal Program, which was a program from the federal government that allowed the government to go in through eminent domain and acquire a lot of property.
Sure.
If you think of Lavaca today, kind of the small lots, modest homes, this was part of that neighborhood. So there was actually synagogues, churches, convenience stores, grocery stores, whatnot there. That all was cleared to pave the way for the 1968 fair,
Right.
which was an amazing event in and of itself. So 6.5 million people over a 6-month period. They built part of the convention center. You remember the old Hemisphere Arena? That was built during that time.
Memorial Day Miracle.
That's right. Heck yeah.
The shot.
Basketball.
Okay.
So and the tower was finished for
And the tower was built during that time too. So what happened during 68 was absolutely amazing. And if you ask any San Antonian that was here at the time, they'll tell you these great stories. But what happened post 68 was there was never really a plan for what would happen with all this great downtown land. And so as of really the last 40 years, so effective in 2009, the mayor and city council came up and said, we have this amazing asset sitting right in our downtown. How do we reconnect this to the rest of San Antonio. And we're really fortunate, to have people like Lorenzo and Graham that are investing in downtown.
Sure.
And so the idea now is that people, especially young professionals and empty nesters, they want to be back in the core of San Antonio. They want to walk places. They want to take a bus. They want to bike. And so we're helping build that environment where that's all possible now. So we'll be connecting what right now is essentially vacant land, and we'll be building residential units there. We hope for an office space there. And then most importantly, we're more than tripling the amount of usable park space. So it's going to be the place where San Antonio meets.
And you guys are officing right there at Hemisfair Park. It's like this old 100, 200-year-old home. I don't know if it's like maybe David Crockett's house at the time,
No,
but this thing is authentic. This place is old. It's cool. Tell us about it.
So the house that we're officing out of was built in the 1860s, and it's actually one of several historic home properties that are on the Hemisphere site. Now we're not getting rid of those. We're actually going to take those and do what we did with our office, which is fix them up, restore them, and then we're hoping that businesses will actually move into those and help us activate the park. So you can imagine, it's a great opportunity for local businesses to start a cafe or start a restaurant in these kind of really unique historical spaces and really reactivate that neighborhood.
Sure. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Omar Gonzales and Drew Hicks of the Downtown Hemisphere Project. Give us an envisioning of that downtown space. Like, what's the timeline and some of the features that are going to be coming up?
So we're under construction right now, which is really exciting. So if you go by, there's a fence, there's bulldozers. I mean, this is the real deal. Coming in spring of 2015 will be phase one. Phase one is what we're calling Yanaguana Garden. And the word Yanaguana actually comes from the Cojaltecan Indians.
Wow, what's going on right now?
That was good, right?
Yeah, I just got punked.
Yeah. I can't even call you a liar. You got to be telling me the truth.
Yeah, once you say something like that,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, whatever he says after this has to be true. But they have this amazing legend that was around spirit water. So Yanaguana actually means spirit water to them. And if you think of the original Blue Hole, which is the source water for the San Antonio River, that area around it is what they called Yanaguana. So we're bringing back a piece of San Antonio's history that is super unique and authentic to our city. And that's what we're naming it, Yanaguana Garden. It'll be a play area, play environment, all ages, all abilities. We like to say from pre-K to gray. So you'll be able to bring your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandparents, anyone who will go there. And what's really exciting about it is we have some play equipment that's from around the world. So there's this one like super unique enclosed climbing structure.
Yeah, if anyone that's going to look on our YouTube, he has some diagrams here that are awesome. I know you're talking about the Amsterdam thing, right, in the back?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's just phase one, right? Yanaguana is next year. By 2018, for the Tricentennial of Texas, we'll have opened Civic Park, which we kind of envision to be the largest and kind of most iconic. It's going to have a ton of developed buildings that line the perimeter, but very porous, very easy to get into, with a big, beautiful great lawn, the shallows that Omar mentioned earlier. And then in 2020, we'll open phase 3, which is Tower Park. So really, Hemisphere is sort of transforming from a park into really an urban district with multiple parks, local businesses, and residences.
Let's put this into perspective. So you told me that there's going to be this lawn that is the size of, because I travel a lot. How big is that lawn in perspective, just to give scale of how big this project is?
So you can fit entire Bryant Park, which is New York on 42nd Street. You can fit the entire piece of Bryant Park, 6.5 acres, into our park. You can fit the lawn and the water in Discovery Green into this park.
Where's Discovery Green at?
Discovery Green in Houston, right near the convention center.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah.
And massive. I mean, this is a huge project.
We imagine 10,000 people come to a concert. We'll see Phil Collins.
Phil
when we
Collins?
open.
That's weird.
Phil?
I saw him on TV last night, so I figured we could get him.
Are you a big Phil Collins fan?
No, he's a big San Antonio fan.
JJ loves, who is it? Pat Benatar?
Los Tigres? I mean, I don't I'm eclectic, dude. I'm eclectic. So if people want to get some more, like, these are obviously some great designs that you guys, do you have these up online?
Hemisphere.org.
Hi, hemisphere.org. And
you can also send an email to info@hemisphere.org. And then we have a couple public design forums coming up where we'll be revealing more of our plans more specifically and calling for public feedback.
That's awesome. And so you guys actually will take the feedback in and take it into consideration from the locals.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's already informed the design significantly.
I got some ideas.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
We're not going to take all your ideas.
I'm ready.
So if you're just joining us, we'll be right back with Bobby and JJ Radio. We're going to speak more about this Hemisphere project. We're going to take a quick break with our show sponsors. Don't move an inch.